Welcome to the High Stakes Deals Podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Locascio, and today I have Arman Nikoi. What's up, buddy?
Woo!
How you
What's
doing,
up,
man?
dude? How you doing? Good. I'm good. Thanks.
You nervous?
A little bit.
Like I said, I get a little nervous before these things sometimes too. It's always, but it's good. It's butterflies. It's like, we're going, baby. So, Arman, tell me a little bit about yourself. Let's jump right into it. Where are you from? What do you do? And I'll start asking you some questions, but let's talk.
Sure. So I'm from LA.
Mm-hmm. City of Angels. Let's go.
City of Angels.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. What part of LA?
And Chatsworth. So I grew up in the Valley.
Okay.
I'm a Valley boy.
Valley Boy. Okay.
Yeah.
Valley Boy in the 90s. What was that movie? What's the Clueless? Yeah, the hot white chick, the hot blonde chick. You know, she's like the Valley girl. Yeah, so you knew girls like that, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Not bad.
Yeah.
So
shout out to them.
What do your parents do, or what do they do?
So they're retired. My dad, back in our country, he was an optician. And then so when we moved here, he pretty much did nothing.
Okay.
Retired.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for him. He must have been
for him.
pretty good at what he did over there, huh?
Yeah.
So what is your country? Where is your family from when you say my country?
From Iran.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So they call it, or Persian.
Okay. See, I've always wondered about that because I'm not from Iran. I'm not Persian, but I've always wondered. So I thought it was Iranian or Iranian.
That's right.
But it's Persian. Is there a difference between the two?
I don't remember what year it was. I think before 1940 or something. It used to call Persia, and then it got changed after that to Iran. So that's why they call it Iranian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha.
So it used to be Persia, and then now it's Iranian.
Okay.
But you can say both.
Okay.
Well, if you say Persian, I don't know. It's kind of like it's more like, why do you say Persian? Say Iranian? I don't know.
So what do they speak in Iran?
Farsi.
Can you speak Farsi?
Oh, fluent.
All right. Well, say something. Introduce me to the world.
What do you want me to say?
This is, how about say this? I'm sitting here doing a podcast with the baddest real estate mofo on the planet.
So it's a bad word, but I can say it this way. So اسم من آرمان هست و امروز داریم با آقای Brandon.
Let's go, baby. Let's go. Come on, people.
شاه real estate. شاه real estate. King of real estate.
There we go. I'll take it.
Yeah,
I'll take it. I appreciate that. I got the shout out. Yeah, buddy. Give me one of those. Booyah.
There you go.
Nice, man.
Yeah. So we're chatting with Brandon.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
So listen, you grew up in the Valley. You're an LA guy.
Yeah.
Chatsworth. So same house, whole life?
No.
Much?
So we moved pretty much two locations. I'm actually living half in the Valley and half in Palmdale.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Palmdale.
So I'm like halfway here, halfway there.
Gotcha. So why Palmdale? Because that's like a big. So my family's originally from Orange County, then the Inland Empire.
Right.
But you tell people about Inland Empire from Orange County or LA, and they're like, "Where the hell the Inland Empire? What the? Do people live out there?" Of course, my dad from the Inland Empire, he's like, "Who the hell lives in LA?
Right.
I would never go to LA." And I'm like, "Okay, or whatever, guy." But
it's
Palmdale,
too crowded.
Yeah, damn traffic. But Palmdale's pretty far away from Chatsworth or from the Valley.
It's about 40, 50 miles away.
Yeah, but I mean, practically totally different parts of the world. I mean, if you think about it from a standpoint of like how people live in Palmdale versus LA. So how did that happen? Did your parents divorce or something? Or?
No. I actually moved myself.
Oh, okay.
And the reason why, because, I found a good real estate opportunity over there.
Real estate, man. Yeah. There we go. Okay. So, how old were you when you did that?
No, not long ago, actually, a year ago.
Nice.
Last year I did that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wait, so you're in Palmdale now?
Halfway. I mean, half the time I'm in Palmdale, half the time I'm in the Valley.
I got to come out and check it out, man.
You should.
Me and Greg Clooney got to come out to Palmdale.
You should, man.
And tear that mofo up.
Yeah.
Friday night, Gucci sneaks, Jack and Cokes, Blazers. I don't know where we're going to go, but I'm sure we'll go somewhere cool.
Yeah, we should do that, definitely.
Dude, that'd be cool. So what did you buy in Palmdale?
So it's a house, 3,500 square foot.
Okay.
Home, ranch. Pretty nice house.
So you say ranch, so single story, obviously.
Single story.
Nice.
Yeah. Really nice area. It's called Rancho Vista.
Rancho Vista.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
So, yeah.
Sounds like something
it was a good investment,
Albuquerque,
actually.
out of like the Midwest, like
It's like a Beverly Hills of Palmdale.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Good area.
Not bad. So now, did you buy that as a investment primarily?
Investments, yeah.
Gotcha.
But I'm actually not doing anything with it right now. I'm deciding to pretty much keep it because I really like the area now. My thought was to actually buy it and then either rent it or flip it. But I actually fall in love with the house.
So you said, what? I'm going to stay. I'm
gonna
moving
stay
on
there.
in.
Yeah, right?
Dude, not bad, man.
And Valley is very crowded. I mean, LA is very crowded.
Dude, LA is crowded.
I'm like, why would I do that?
Again, my friends and family that aren't in LA are like, how the hell do you do that? But the thing about LA, it's crowded, but it's not if you don't have to go too far. I mean,
Exactly.
As cliche as that sounds, but it really is the truth because, like I live in West Hollywood. My office is in Westwood. Our other office is in Beverly Hills. Everything I pretty much do is between Century City, Westwood, Beverly Hills, The Grove, Koreatown. By the way, unless I'm going to one of my job sites in Palm Springs or Orange County, I mean, then obviously forget about it. You're talking about hours on the road, obviously. But for the most part, once you kind of get off the freeways and into that core part of LA, if you're just doing the side street thing and getting around, it's it's not horrible.
No.
I mean, at least I've gotten used to it. Maybe I'm just like blinded at this point.
We're getting used to it, actually.
I'm the man in the smog walking around in LA. It's like, it's not that bad. And someday the water will splash on me and I'll be like, what the hell was I doing? But for now, it doesn't seem too bad. So,
no, I love LA.
So, LA's great. So Palmdale, but
it is actually a part of LA County, though.
So really, you haven't left LA?
No.
You're just on the outskirts.
Right,
But
exactly.
you've not left LA.
No.
You're like, dude, I'm Team LA all the way.
Exactly.
I still got my Dodger cap.
Exactly.
Like, come on, I'm still repping for the Lakers.
Yeah.
Like, it's all good.
It's still a part of LA County.
So how much do houses cost, or what's the range of property typically in LA? Because I know, like, for example, if you were to buy something in Chatsworth, let's say, Chatsworth has got to be, houses have to start at 7, 8, 9, $1 million for something really old and not big. I know newer houses are a couple million, probably on average. Obviously, they can go up way more from there. So Palmdale, what are we talking about? $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 houses that are pretty big, or what would you say on average the houses are there?
In Palmdale,
yeah,
400,000, 600,000, a little bit higher actually. Okay. If you want to be in a good area of Palmdale,
gotcha.
You're looking at high 700.
Wow,
starting.
Okay.
And then it goes up to 1.2, 1.5, 1.6
But you're
million.
talking about nice areas that in Los Angeles proper.
Right.
Like if you in Chatsworth, it would be a lot more money.
About $2 to $3 million.
Wow.
Same property.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dude. So what about like investment properties? What about like rentals, stuff like that? Have you looked at any?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Great area for that, actually.
Really?
As a matter of fact, a lot of people moving that way because, as everybody knows, real estate in LA area, meaning that in Chatsworth, like San Fernando Valley.
In our part of LA, not your part of LA.
Yeah. in your part of LA.
Well, dude,
it's actually going top to the roof. It's going really high.
It is
the
crazy.
The prices are crazy. So people can afford to buy. They actually move over there.
It's funny. It's
Santa Clarita is moving. Is going really high.
People are going to Santa. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Even like Temecula, right, where my parents
are. Yeah.
Temecula, Murrieta. Like, again, I remember in the recession, when houses there, every house pretty much dropped down to like $250,000, right?
Exactly.
It almost didn't matter if it was like 3,500 square foot or the 2,500 square foot. It was just like, everything's $250, But as soon as the market came back, now you've got homes that are $1 million, $1 million tract homes.
Yeah.
800,000, 900,000, $1 million.
Starting.
Right. It's crazy.
I mean, you can find anything below 900,000 in San Fernando Valley that you can actually live in.
So my question is, how much do you have to make on average? This is a rhetorical question, but being a real estate broker, you're in real estate. We're going to talk more about that. But how much do people have to make nowadays to buy these houses? I mean, they have to have either a good down payment. They got to be able to get cheap money, which arguably we had a lot of years of cheap money, and now that's starting to change. But how can people afford to spend $1 million on a tract home or $2-3 million on, frankly, kind of an average house in most parts of Los Angeles? I mean, is that good? Do you ever ask yourself that? Like,
it's really bad, though. I mean, it's really tough. You have to make above 150,000.
Yeah.
If you're a couple, maybe together, 150 above. If you're a single guy, you have to be above 120, I would say.
I would say at least, right?
At least. Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, now...
And with that, you may be able to get a good townhouse.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, if you're lucky. Yeah.
I'm not talking about 3,500 square foot home or like...
You're not talking about
luxury.
a beautiful... Right.
No.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like something very decent.
Right. Isn't that crazy?
Where you and your dog can actually live together.
Right, yeah. Oh, man. See, I look at things a little differently, right? Like, so I was, like a lot of people, I was a bachelor forever, met my wife. Now she's my wife. Met, Morgan, and, we dated, moved in.
Your girlfriend back then.
My girlfriend back then. My sugar mama. She's still my sugar mama, baby mama, whatever. My gal, my sexy bae. But, like now we have a kid. We have a dog, we have 2 cats, and we live in this house. But like, if it were just me, I'd move to a condo. I wouldn't live in a house. What about you?
You're actually having another one coming, right?
I have another one coming.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you, in July. Yeah. So that's cool.
Wow.
But it's just crazy. It's like, all of a sudden you turn around one day and you've got this whole family. And
exactly.
And it's like, you're literally like, wow, I've got a whole house of stuff that should go to storage, and I've got pets running around and kids running around, and I love it. But I guess what was making me think about that was, my preferred way to live would seriously just be in a high rise. I would pull my car in, I'd say what up to the valet dude, I'd ride up the elevator, I'd look at the skyline, someone would do my laundry and my dry cleaning, all my shit, right? And now we live in a house where we have like a yard and all these things. And it's like, I maybe beautiful? 2 or 3 times a month, like myself, ever stop and like enjoy it or look around it. But, the kids love it and the kid likes it. And I'm sure the kids will love it. And, what are you going to do? So
what would you rather live? I mean, would you rather live in a high rise or...
I would be in a high rise.
You love high rises,
I love
right?
high rises.
Okay.
See, because for me, I mean, I work a lot. And so for me, I'm just like... when I come home, I don't want to have to think about a yard.
Right.
I don't want to have to, to me, a yard isn't a benefit. It's like a negative. It's like, wow, look at this big yard. I'm like, yeah, but I got to mow that. I mean, even if you have a gardener, I got to look at that thing. And, it's like, so yeah, I would live just...
Sprinkles, break, you have to change that, all that stuff.
Dude, I'm telling you. Yeah. And for me, it's like, I'm a big guy for security. I like security. I like amenities. So there's just a lot of things that I think that are nice about maybe living in a town, more of a, not townhome, but more of like a high-rise type living. But, I guess, again, over time, now being the married guy with the kid and the kid on the way and everything else, maybe there's some more appreciation for houses. Maybe at some point I'll talk to Mrs. into trying to live in a high-rise for a year or something. We did live in a high-rise before, but, we'll see if maybe we'll go back at some point.
I actually love that.
Dude, I'm telling you. But what about you? So, I mean, would you ever move into more of like a condo type setup? Or now you're house guy, you're going to stay house guy?
I personally love to live in a high rise.
Yeah.
My fiance, she doesn't like it. Does she
call the shots, by the way?
Sometimes.
Yeah. That's smart because she might listen to this. She's going to be like, wait a minute, what is that? Well, okay, good. He said, I'm in charge.
Yeah, she always makes me
Yeah, exactly.
So, because of that, I mean... We're living in the house.
Dude, that's how it goes, man. I'm telling you. So listen, just to zoom out for a second. So grew up in Chatsworth, grew up in LA, and now you've gone to Palmdale. But I want to get back into the in-between. So first of all, for those that don't know they're listening, so you have a real estate license, real estate salesperson license. Mm-hmm. You also have a general contractor's license. Right. So you're kind of like this double whammy because a lot of people do construction and they're the contractor dudes. And a lot of people sell houses, and they're the real estate guys. And you're like Mr. Contractor Dude and Real Estate Guy all in one. You're just like, boom, here I am, right? And that's cool. And that's kind of like what, because I'm a partner in a construction
you guys do that
firm.
Similar.
And yeah, we build and we sell. But I don't know a lot of people that do that. Yeah. Most of the people I know are either real estate guys or construction dudes,
Yeah, because you're also coming from a really, highly skilled background of real estate, right?
Well, dude, I mean...
your father was a realtor, right?
Yeah.
He actually owns a real estate...
My father owns a real estate office in Temecula, in Murrieta, a RE/MAX office. And yeah, I mean, I was just telling someone the other day, with Jesse, he's our new office manager, and he was like, who's Daniel? Because he saw something in my office. That's my dad's name. And he was like, is that your brother? I was like, no, it's my dad. He's in real estate too? And I said... Yeah, so is my mom, so is my grandma, so 2 of my uncles. I mean, the list pretty much goes on. If you Google like Locascio and the state board, there's a whole bunch of us. But
you're probably the 4th or 3rd generation, right?
At least the 3rd.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy. But it was almost like for me, even though I grew up in a real estate family, I kind of almost got in by chance. I got in 2005 when everybody was doing the refinances, the mortgages.
Right. Mortgages,
and I kind of just drifted in.
Yeah.
And everything else was history. But I want to know though about you as far as what made you get into real estate, and did you get into real estate first, or did you get into general contracting first?
So I went to school for civil engineering and basically construction engineering.
Right.
So I graduated from Cal State Northridge.
That's right. Okay, there we go.
So that's how everything is started.
Uh-huh.
But I've been around real estate guys, growing up.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I graduated, I wanted to actually get into real estate because, growing up, as an immigrant, we always wanted to, make our parents proud. So we always were looking for something to kind of like, be proactive,
right?
Make a lot of money. That was our goal first.
Real estate construction guys can make a lot of money. So you were like, okay, all right, let's go.
And then I was like, yeah, that's it. So that's how I got my construction experience.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got into real estate after that.
Wow.
So wanted to do both in a way that I can actually build and sell.
Right. The double whammy.
Buy, fix, and sell, and then create a system where I become a one-stop shop.
Right.
That was my goal.
That was your goal.
Yeah.
So did you have that goal when you first went to Cal State Northridge and you were going to civil engineering? No, it was what kind of engineering?
Construction engineering.
Okay, so construction engineering.
Similar to that.
So when
it's
you were
actually a part of civil engineering.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
So when you were going to do that, were you already thinking ahead, like, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to get a GC license, or what?
Not really.
Okay.
Everything actually.
I mean, you were in college, so you were probably also thinking about girls and beer bongs and shit like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine.
Well, honestly, I thought, if I graduated, I never thought I'm going to open my own business. I never thought all of this.
What did you think?
So I was thinking that I'm going to get a job and then I'm going to, retire from that job.
You get a job, stay there for 30 years.
30 years, yeah.
Get the house.
And that's exactly.
In Palmdale.
And that's how
the white picket fence. Do you have a white picket fence?
I do.
The hell yeah. I knew you had a white picket fence, dude. I knew there was a fence involved.
Right.
Hell yeah, bro. So, I mean, but you kind of, okay, so you were like, I'm going to get a job and I'm going to see what happens from there.
So this is what happened. Back in 2012, we were still in recession.
Dude,
remember that?
Yeah.
So everything was frozen. Like no job. I mean, if you would send your resume, nobody would actually hire you. So this is what happened to me.
Yeah.
So I sent my resume. I actually started working for Metro.
LA Metro.
LA Metro.
Okay.
Yeah, working on like highway,
You
projects.
weren't driving the bus, were you?
No.
Because those guys really pissed me off. I'll tell you a story about that one later.
So I was working there hoping, I'm going to get into, government jobs. Although it was not a government job, it's actually getting their funding from government.
I see.
So everybody thinks Metro it's actually a private company, I believe.
Really?
I think so. There's a name for it. I just forgot, public something. But anyways.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I thought that's going to be the thing. But then I was like, by the time I get to that level that I wanted to get, it would take me probably 15 years.
Right.
So I started working for a private company. And so I become a superintendent, managing 3-4 projects.
Okay.
So that didn't take me anywhere too. But I realized that by doing that, I kind of challenged myself in a way that, okay, so if I can do this, maybe I can do the thing that I was thinking. You know what I mean?
Sort of like, okay, I did this and I can do this, and so maybe I'm not full of shit. Maybe I can actually, I can actually go do what I really want to
do it. Yeah. So that's exactly what happened.
By the way, more people need to think that.
Right.
See, I think that's the problem with a lot of people is that they're afraid to validate that. It is kind of like, can I do that? And I think for me, I've always been the type of guy where I'm like, yeah, I can do that, no problem. And a lot of times I really can't do it, but I'm like, no, I can do that, no problem.
Yeah.
Right. And so that might be the other end of the spectrum.
Doubt yourself.
Right. But a lot of people are just like, should I try that? And it's like the analysis paralysis kind of thing, you know what I mean? But that's cool. So you were like, okay, you got that validation by that first private job. So what were they doing? Were they flipping houses, or what were you a superintendent for?
I was a superintendent for a tenant improvement projects.
Oh, gotcha.
So we were actually building restaurants.
Got you. So when you say tenant improvement, so tenant restaurant company rents out a restaurant, and they need to deck it out with all the furniture and paint it and put stuff on the wall, and, everything. So you guys come in,
all commercials.
Okay, so you guys come in and say, okay, here's your build out. It's $300,000. Here's what we're gonna do.
We actually did like few hotel projects, renovations.
Nice,
like commercial projects. Mostly nothing residential.
Nothing residential.
So I realized, okay, if I can do that, maybe I'm getting closer to my goal. Because honestly, at that point, I thought that I'm not going to go anywhere with these jobs.
Right.
And honestly, I used to wake up 4 a.m., 3 a.m. I had to be in Dana Point, from Chatsworth to Dana Point.
Dude.
2 hours.
Get out of here.
I swear to God.
That's a drive. I mean, Dana Point's pretty deep.
Oh, yeah.
It's deep Orange County.
2 hours.
That's like I'm almost in San Clemente. Beautiful area.
And I was leaving 3 p.m., 4 p.m. By the time I was getting home, it was 8.
Damn.
And so I had to do the same thing the next day.
Yeah.
It was pretty draining.
Were you getting paid well, though?
No.
Oh, well, that's good.
Like,
that just no. Yeah, you're like, as a matter of fact, I wasn't. I was not.
No, I was not.
No, okay, but I did during those long drives, you find yourself pondering, like, what the hell am I doing? It's like the Office Space guy you see when he's like sitting there at the beginning of the movie. He's just like in there. It's like traffic, and he's just like, what the hell am I doing?
But I did that, Brandon, because I wanted to gain that experience.
Dude, that's important.
I thought the only thing that I need is experience. Does it make noise here?
Does it? Yeah. We have a guy, he pushes a button every so often just to mess with you.
I know, right?
And it started. So just, it'll stop and then it'll start again.
And it'll start again.
Yeah, when you least expect it.
But anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I thought
so you got experience.
I got a little bit of an experience.
Yeah.
So, construction is so vast that, even if I've talked to people that, been doing it for 30 years and they still say, we need more experience. I still don't know this. I still don't know that. But it was a great starting point for me because then I learned like, okay, this is the basic.
Right.
And so after that, I was like, okay, so I'm not going to go anywhere with these companies because nobody's hiring and everybody's like want to pay you the minimum.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people looking for a job. So I was like, you know what? I'm done with this.
Yeah.
I started Uber.
Started Uber.
Believe it or not. I started Uber. I worked on my business plan. After
so you're driving Uber.
Right.
Writing a business plan.
Exactly. I applied for my license.
Nice.
And because I gained all these experience. I had like, academic experience and I had, I had hands-on, experience by then. So I applied for a license and I got the license within 6 months.
By the way, so I just want to interject there. So for those that don't know, to get a general contractor license in the state of California, maybe it's the same with other states, but in California, to get that license, you do have to have, a couple years, 2, 3, 4, 5 years?
4 years.
4 years of what they would consider like experience in the field, either working for somebody or I guess it would mostly be working for somebody.
If you're Middle Eastern, maybe nothing.
Yeah, somebody's like, here you go, we're just going to pop you in, But
I honestly had that. I'm maybe one of those few Middle Eastern contractors that actually went through the process.
That actually went through the whole...
If they track me, they can...
actually...
There is nothing that, and that's why I'm proudly say it here because nobody can go back.
I actually did this shoes. Oh, man. So how many years experience did you have, though, at that point?
At that point...
Did you have, like, the 3 or 4 years, or...?
Oh, yeah. 5 years. 5 years.
Oh, you had 5 years.
Yeah.
Wow, dude.
Because I started working for Metro when I was actually going to college.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah. So I was taking like all my classes in the evening, and then I was going to work from 8 to 4, sometimes 3.
Wow.
And I was tell my supervisor at that time that I have a class, blah blah. And she was like, okay, go. That's fine.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's how I've been doing it for 2 years prior to graduation.
So let me ask you a question. Uber,
yeah.
Off the subject of construction for a moment. Uber, you're driving Uber. What was the craziest thing you saw while you're driving Uber? Because I know you saw some crazy shit.
Oh,
You must have. I mean, I feel like I've seen some crazy things as a passenger in Uber. I mean, did you have I'm just going to go through a couple quick ones because I know everybody's dying to know. I mean, did anybody fight in your car?
They did.
Wow.
So one night, actually, it was a Saturday night. So I had to take, just the signal was for one person. And 7 people showed up.
7?
7.
Wow. Did you have like a kidnapper van, or was it just
no,
like a regular car that sits?
No, I had a regular sedan.
Yeah.
And so they were fighting to get into the car. And I was like, dude, you can't. You guys are like, what do you want?
What are you going to do?
7 guys. I mean, are you kidding me? Like,
so what happened?
Nothing. So they started kind of like, arguing with me. And I just, I left.
Wow.
They wrote the bad reviews for me, though.
That Arman guy, he sucked.
Yeah.
The worst driver ever. That never drove me anywhere. So what about anything else crazy go down? You have to call the cops on anybody, get out of your car, people drunk, pass out. I'm sure people threw up in your car.
No.
No girls?
No.
Girls making out? Girls trying to take you out? There must have been something
I
there.
think one couple tried to make
Don't
out.
remember this again. Remember, this goes back to the fiance. You're like, nah, never happened. Nothing like that at all. Babe, I would have told you. I promise. Dude, that's funny. So
I don't remember any of that.
But was Uber? I mean, I don't know anything about it, and I'm sure like anything, the rates have changed. They've gone from employees to contractors, or contractors to employees, or this or that, whatever. But was it good at the time?
It was $1.50, I believe.
$1.50
per mile.
Oh, okay.
I guess right. I don't know what's the rate now, but
yeah,
a few years ago it was. I don't know, like. I heard it was like 99 cents and then something. It was like crazy.
Wow.
But yeah, I got it at, I think back then it was like $1.90 or $1.75.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Wow. So you did that for a couple of years. So then you're writing you're writing your plan while you're doing that.
6 months only.
6 months, not a couple of years.
Yeah.
So you're writing your plan. You do that for 6 months, and then what? You go open up Armans construction company.
Yeah.
Here I am, mofo's. Check me out now. I'm ready to build something.
The first construction company, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was your first? Tell me about your first construction project that you did on your own, under your own license. Did you sit there? By the way, and I want to know how you got it. Did you sit there at the table and some guy's just like, honey, I don't know about this guy. I don't know. And you're like, listen, I promise I've got some experience. And I drove Uber. So, we could throw that into the deal if we need to. And you're like,
Honestly, I don't know if it was a competition back then or not, but it was much easier.
Really?
Believe it or not. Yeah.
Land jobs.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was much easier. Finding jobs was much easier.
Really?
Marketing was easier. Like everything was much easier.
I would feel like right now it'd be easy to find jobs only because
it's not. It is.
Everyone's so busy. So if you're available, you can usually get work, right?
I think it's easy, but so many people are doing the same thing. So you have a lot of competition if you're starting up. Like I imagine if you start a construction company right now, you would have a lot of problems finding a job.
Right.
Because you need to have a good reviews, you need to have a good Yelp review, Google review, like Home Advisor, this,
Angie's List.
Angie's List,
House,
yeah, of course,
all
social
media.
Yeah, exactly. And they ask you for, all these records how many projects you have done. Could you show me pictures?
Yeah.
All that stuff.
So the guy's asking you that, and you're like, nice dog you got there. So, how did you land the first deal?
Back then, it was the beginning of Instagram. There was no TikTok. Facebook barely starting to market, so everything was like, like a blue book, yellow page kind of deal.
That was kind of how everybody advertised.
Yeah,
it
was about to
like so archaic it was now.
Exactly. I think it was much easier. So I used to go to the client's house, very nice,
Yeah.
And then I was
you show up in a suit. Yeah. They're like, wait a minute.
I ordered a business card. It was a nice business card.
Nice
so,
They're like, wait a minute. Have you ever seen a construction site? You're like so professional. What the hell? They're expecting like a construction looking guy to show up, right? You're like, here I am. So what was your first job though? Do you remember?
Yeah. So the first job, it was a flooring job for, it was for a gymnasium called 360 Gymnasium. Something. It was in the valley.
Okay.
So we had to actually resurface the floor, and it was for all the racquetballs they had.
Wow.
They had 7 racquetballs. So that was my first job. It came out really nice, actually. And so I had one person to help me out. That was my guy.
Yeah. You're like, I'll bring my whole crew by. Don't worry. They're like, I got a lot of them. All right. If you just see one guy, maybe they're on a couple other jobs, but we'll rotate them through here and there. Don't worry. No problem.
We're so busy.
You're having the guy put on a mustache one day and change the way he looks. And I swear I've got more than one employee.
Yeah.
So how long did that first job take you?
That job took me a week.
Okay.
And so my profit for the first job was about $13,000.
$13,000?
$13,000.
First week?
First week.
That's got to put some wind in your sails.
Yes.
You're like, damn.
That was my
You're
first
like, I'm
job.
pretty badass. I'm like, you're like, if this is how my construction career for myself is starting, you're like, hey, this is not too bad.
I'll tell you about the second one.
Second one, you lost 14 grand. No,
No, the
I
second
know how construction can go sometimes. You can go, whoop, 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 whoop. So yeah, tell me about the second one. What happened to that one?
Right, the second one, unlike your story, I actually made a lot of money. So this is how it happened. So when I was working at Metro, so I got in, like, I had some connections here and there. Anyways, I got introduced to this lady. She was a very nice Indian, lady. And so she wanted to build a restaurant. So she called me. She's like, hey, I want to talk to Arman. I'm like, yeah, this is Arman. How can I help you? And she's like, yeah, I got your number from so-and-so. And then, we want to build a restaurant. I heard that you have experience in that field. And I was like, yeah, what kind of restaurant? She's like, Indian restaurant. I was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
there's not going to be that much profit.
Yeah.
I love Indian and I love Indian food.
Yeah, right?
But I was so, all right.
Tough
we go.
negotiators, is that what you're alluding? Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Anyway, so I went to see her, and it was one of the, I think, it's the most luxurious Indian restaurant in LA.
Really?
Yeah.
So what part of LA was it in, by the way?
Beverly Hills.
Oh, okay. So Beverly Hills on La Cienega?
La Cienega, exactly.
Because I know Indian restaurant there. It's called, and I don't really know what it's called. What is it called? It might be the same one. There's one right on. Okay, so you know where the Stinking Rose is?
It's right in.
The garlic place.
Exactly.
And Laurie's is right there.
You know where SLS at?
Yeah.
It's right in front
exactly.
of it. Yeah.
What is that place called? Indian Affair. Spice
Affair.
Spice Affair. There we go.
Joint venture with my ex-boss. Yeah.
Okay.
Cost of construction was over $1 million.
So, okay. So now the business part of me is going, okay, so when you say joint venture with your ex, so I'm just, correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, so you land this job. They know you have experience in that field. Now, your experience in that field was when you were working for the other guy, right? Before you got your own license.
Correct.
So you wanting to hedge your bets and make sure you did it the right way, didn't F it up, right?
Sure.
You went to your boss and say, hey, dude, I got this deal. I'm not going to work for you on this one like the old ones, but I'll bring you in, make sure I don't mess it up. Let's do this together, and we'll split the profits.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said.
Okay.
I said, I'm going to manage the project.
Smart.
This is my project.
Yeah.
You just help me with the logistics and your crew, and I'll manage it.
Dude,
and I'll put it under my license.
But that's so smart, Arman, because I'm telling you, people get greedy, especially when they're young in their careers. I'm telling you, they get so obsessed with, I got to make 100% of this thing now. And if they would just slow down for 2 seconds and say, listen, I'd rather have a partner on this deal, make sure it goes right. A mentor, make sure it goes right, set the stage for a building block to where I can actually keep making money. I mean, what a fantastic, was that your idea to do that? Or did someone tell you, Arman? Did your dad tell you, Arman, come on, man, don't mess around, call that dude?
My dad actually told me, but it was, I first thought about it too.
Yeah.
I was like, there's no way I can, finish this gigantic project.
Yeah, well, that's a nice restaurant. I mean, and it's pretty big. So what was the value of the contract that you guys signed? Do you remember?
Over $1 million.
Over $1 million. Wow, that's a good amount of money.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm thinking for restaurants. I don't know why earlier I was thinking $300,000 would remodel a restaurant, but I mean, I guess you're talking about equipment and everything else. But that's a nice restaurant, and it's in Beverly Hills, so of course, it would make sense.
Yeah, my profit for that was over $150,000.
I was just gonna guess 150.
Yeah,
15%. Nice, not bad.
So not bad.
But how long did that one take you guys? You said
8 months.
8 months. Nice, not bad though.
Yeah. So that, and then after that, so pretty much that gave me, the starting point or the starting capital to actually, I actually bought a franchise in home service business.
Interesting. So what was that called?
I can't say that.
Okay.
Because I have a contract with them. I can't say.
But how did you get involved in that, or how did you decide to do that?
So obviously, kitchen and bath is in home service business. Kitchen and bath is the most profitable part.
Right. You're saying if you do because kitchen people and bath, spend the most money in their kitchens and baths, and you have the biggest margin there. Okay.
It has the biggest margin, and actually probably one of the biggest tickets that you would actually find, I would say, in home renovations.
Right.
The most expensive part would be first kitchen, and then the second one is bathroom, and then the flooring.
Of course. I was thinking the flooring also, yeah.
Yeah. So I got into that side, and so we had a contract with Home Depot. And so Home Depot
would refer business to you guys?
Right. If you go to Home Depot, actually, you could actually find the name still up until today. If you go to they haven't changed it, because I ended the contract, I would say 4 years ago.
Okay.
But they still have it. I don't know why.
Gotcha.
The name is still there.
Wow.
Yeah, I went to Home Depot a few times. The name is still there. But anyways, so that was another starting point, a good starting point.
Okay.
Where we actually made a lot of profit, but it wasn't profitable that much because a chunk of our profit would go to Home Depot.
Okay, so Home Depot, let me get this straight. So Home Depot, I walk into Home Depot and I'm like, look, I got this house. I got to remodel my kitchen. Maybe the missus wants to hit a couple of the bathrooms too while we're doing this. Our budget's $150,000. Home Depot, can you guys help? So I'm going to buy the material all through Home Depot, presumably. And Home Depot is going to say, hey, cool, I got the guys. They're going to come out and they're going to give you a quote and they can do all the labor. Is that kind of more or less?
No, it was actually, we would do material and labor.
Okay, so you would sell them both. So Home Depot would just kind of turn the lead over, basically. Right. Okay.
So it was a method where kind of like resurfacing the kitchen.
Okay.
So instead of buying cabinets, we would do refinishing and redooring.
Gotcha. So you'd go in, totally like sand everything down, redo it.
Or redoor it. I mean, if the doors were damaged, we would actually change the doors.
Yeah.
Put a new countertop.
And that would make it look, new doors and new counters would make it look.
Exactly. Because I figured, a lot of people cannot afford to spend $50,000 on their kitchen.
Right.
So instead, they spend like $15,000, $20,000.
Right.
And we can make a brand new kitchen for them. Same thing with the bathroom.
There they go.
If they don't have the money to spend like, $15,000, $20,000 to renovate their bathroom, they can spend $10,000 to renovate their bathroom.
Right.
So that was a great idea, and then it got saturated over time. I think I was one of the first major company in LA that actually brought this, and everybody started copying that.
So how did it get saturated? Are you saying that Home Depot made other business arrangements for similar guys like you, or was it just people in general in LA, like you said, just everyone just like, let me just hit homeowners for remodels?
It was the first major company that actually came up with this idea in a mass, like in a way that people knew that name. Okay. Why it got saturated?
What did you say the name was? Just kidding. I'm going to get you to say that damn name, Arman. Come on, you son of a gun. No, that's cool.
So
I'm going to go to Home Depot tomorrow and look for him. I'm going to go to Home Depot and be like, hey, Arman sent me down here. I swear he told me to come to check this thing out.
Yeah. No, definitely ask them.
Okay.
Go to the one in Sunset.
I'm going to, can I record you saying that? Because I want to show the manager at Home Depot. No, I'm just kidding.
So anyways, why it got saturated? Because it was profitable. So contractor realized that, this guy is doing it, so let me do the same thing.
Right.
They actually become a little bit more successful because my overhead was actually higher than them. Although my quality was higher than all of them, their price was actually a little bit cheaper than mine.
Right.
Because they don't have to pay a big box. They don't have to pay, Home Depot, the other guy, this guy, that guy, marketing, all that stuff. So if I was charging them $20,000, they would charge them $15,000. Copy the same thing.
Right.
Although again, quality is day and night.
Quality's day. So do you think it's better to have the better product and service or the better marketing?
Better marketing.
Dude, and that was what I was thinking too. I already knew the answer in my head because I'm a big Grant Cardone guy.
As bad as it sounds.
Dude, but okay, listen, if you have a good product and service and you have great marketing, that's really who wins.
Oh yeah. You're the king.
You gotta have a good product or service. You can't
no matter
have the
what.
best marketing and show up and be shit. But you can't be like one of these guys that's like, I'm the best kept secret. Like I'm great at what I do for my 3 clients a year, right? Like I'm fantastic. I'm the best realtor. I'm the best construction guy. But I only meet with 1 client a year, so I'm 1 for 1 every year.
Exactly.
That's a bad spot to be, right? If you get there. So what did you realize? And so when it got saturated, I
got out of it.
What did you get into?
So I got into home renovation.
Okay.
Doing what I'm doing.
Flipville. Time to flip, time to renovate.
Time to flip, time to renovate, yeah. And recently so my plan that probably I'm going to talk to you about it.
Let's talk about it, man. Let's dive in. I want to talk about. The one-stop shop. Okay, so you're a real estate agent. You work with me at Skymark Real Estate. Myself and Clooney. Yeah. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
So let's talk about that,
dude. Well, listen, Skymark Real Estate is in Beverly Hills. We're a boutique real estate company. We're doing all kinds of deals right now, and we're bringing on agents like you. And dude, I'm super excited about this niche you have. So you're basically offering homeowners a chance to remodel their place and to get it on the market, and you've got financing, right?
I do financing.
I mean, let's dive into that a little bit.
So thank you for saying that.
Dude, I mean, I think it's fantastic. You called me a couple weeks ago and you said, Brandon, what do you think about this idea? And I said, okay, well, tell me a little bit more. And you said, so I know that a lot of realtors will offer to connect their clients with, hey, I got a contractor. Maybe you can fix up your house before we sell it and whatever. But it's not the same thing as, like, for example, you walk into that listing appointment and you can say, hey, listen, this can all be connected here. Because exactly. I can renovate it myself with my own guys. I'm incentivized because I'm going to be the one selling it. We're not going to have to point fingers at some contractor when he doesn't show up for work kind of thing and disappears after the second payment, or some weird thing. And when you said this to me and then you threw out the kicker about the financing, I said, dude, you know what the average age of a house is in Los Angeles? I mean, I don't actually know the answer, but I would assume it's like 1960 or something. It's got to be. And there's so many people. Like, we just sold this house in Gardena, and our client was like, hey, do you want to come over and list the house, whatever? And I came over and I listed the house, but we're going through it, and it was like, I had to tell him, I said, David, this house is fantastic, but it's fantastic for a buyer at 740 or something, 730, 740, 750. If you really want to unlock the equity, we got to spend a few bucks.
Right.
And we spent about $27,000. And instead of him getting that 740, they got like 825. And we remodeled it in 2 weeks. Greg and I, Clooney and I, we managed the thing soup to nuts for him. And, they actually paid out of pocket. And we were, I kind of feel like we were fortunate as the brokers because a lot of times you can make recommendations to your client. Like, we knew the right thing to do was to spend $26,000 to get almost another $100,000. But a lot of times a client will say, yeah, that's great, but I can't afford that.
Right.
Brandon, I'm selling the damn house. You think I'm going to put $27,000 into it, right?
Exactly.
We were fortunate that our client was like, dude, giddy up, let's rock and roll. And it was a great decision. But some clients are just like, dude, I'm not going to do that, and I can't do that. And so when you said that you have a way to possibly finance them on this, and I said, wow, dude, if you can offer them financing.
Not only financing, we do the project management for them.
There you go.
And then we list it for them.
So you're saying...
And because we are involved in the construction, we know how much to spend on that property.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, Brandon, we're going to sell it. And if we sell it at the highest value, we're going to get a bigger check too.
Of course. You're incentivized as well.
Exactly.
So it's not like you want to do a bad job
No.
and have it sell for the lower number. You want to do a good job, maximize their dollar, and have all the buyers come in and say, I love this house. I got to buy it.
Exactly. And because we're actually doing it A to Z, we want to make sure that, the clients gets all the benefits from, project management, from financing, from design, from the listing side, on how to advertise it, who to advertise it. And this way we can actually sell the property faster at the maximum profit.
So about the financing. Okay, so let's start on that. So how hard is it for a homeowner to qualify for financing? I mean, because by the way, you would assume if they own a home, they're qualified, like they have good credit or something. But you would imagine how many people I've run across that we sell their house and they're like, dude, I'm glad I'm selling this thing, not buying it because my credit is torn up right now. And then that just happens sometimes, right? So let's say there's a homeowner who's like, dude, that sounds great, Arman. Let's rock and roll. But their credit's not great. Is it hard to get them financed?
Depends.
Okay.
So I work with different lenders. Few of them, they work with people above 580, and then few of them work with people above 640.
I see.
So it depends on their situation, how much equity they have in the house.
Right.
And, right now, everybody has at least 100,000 in their equity in their homes.
I mean, unless they bought it 2 months ago.
2 months
they should,
ago.
right?
Exactly.
With how hot the damn market's been.
Right.
Yeah.
So if they qualify, we can actually finance it at 100%, no money down. And literally when they sell the home, they pay off everything from escrow.
Right out of escrow.
Right out of escrow.
So what happens if they don't sell the house?
So
I know that's a funny question because it's
Right.
like, well, no, Brandon,
So-
if they commit to doing this and we do the numbers, they better sell the house. But let's say, do
Let's
they
say-
just make payments?
Yeah, they make the payments.
Right.
And the payments are very affordable. So they're going to be starting from $150 to $300 on average. So it's not
Wow.
like something that break their back or, they're going to be like, oh my God, like,
Yeah.
it's like
So it's,
$300.
it's an affordable payment. It's going to
Very
go towards
affordable.
fixing up their property.
Right.
And then you guys are going to sell it, us at Skymark, but you're going to put it on the market. You're going to sell it for them, get them top dollar.
Exactly.
And by the way, why do you think a buyer is willing to pay so much more for a house that's been recently done? Isn't that also a weird thing? Because the logical part of the brain says, why are most buyers so concerned with buying the turnkey houses when they could probably get a better deal if they just buy the one that needs a little bit more work and do the fixing themselves? But why do you think when you have the fixed up property, it just bangs into escrow at that big old number? Why is that in your opinion?
Great question. I'm a buyer myself too. You're a buyer too.
Correct.
Right? You want to walk into a house that is already done because you already went through all this hassle of buying the property, thinking about buying the property,
Yep.
and then you saved all your money, your life saving pretty much. You put it down for the house that you want.
Yep.
So right now you just want to walk in, start paying the mortgage, and living your life. You don't want to deal with the contractor because again, once you buy the property, based on my experience, it's going to take an amateur buyer between 4 to 6 months to fix their home.
Dude, and that doesn't sound fun.
And assuming that the guy that they hire know what he or she's doing.
Yeah, right.
'Cause
And
a
that's
lot of
big
times-
iffy when it comes to contractors. I mean, no offense to the contractors,
No.
but I don't know. I'm just saying. It goes back to what you were joking about earlier about anybody can pretty much get a real estate license or a contractor's license
Or a
in
contract
California.
license,
And there's
yeah.
a lot of really great professionals, but yeah, it's just unfortunate sometimes. There's a lot of kind of guys and gals that don't do the right things. But it's funny that you say that because I rent where I live, and I own with some partners 40 apartment units. So I put all my money into investments, and I don't mind renting. Goes back to earlier what I said. I would rent and I would just live in the high rise. Now my wife,
flow.
yeah, cash flow, baby, because I like to take my money and buy investments.
yeah, I love
However, at some point, I'm sure we'll buy or maybe build some big mansion in town. We'll see. But the thing is like, okay, if I didn't build a house, if I wasn't going to go that crazy and actually build the house, let's say that I just bought it, I probably would like to buy it turnkey, even though I'm fully capable of renovating my own house. You know why? Because I'm so busy, dude. I'm busy running the companies. I'm busy buying apartments. I'm busy doing podcasts. Like, at the end of the day, and I'm a real estate and construction guy, and I could easily renovate it. Now, if you're a doctor, a lawyer, a teacher, a whatever, like all the other things that people could be, doesn't it make sense that they would just want to just move into a property? And that's probably part of the reason why these fixed up properties are so alluring to them, because they're like, dude, that's great. Let's move in right now. Multiple offers, 20,000 more above asking. Okay, just tell them 30. Like, come on, let's get the deal done. Like, I feel like that's most people.
And by the way, I don't know if you notice or not. I think everybody does. The interest rates are going high. So what does that mean?
Dude, they are going up.
Right.
I think they're going up again, 2 more half points.
Things are
in the next
getting
month.
more competitive now. So you have to be above average.
Yeah.
So you need to know, you need to have this strategy to actually, be able to sell the property as fast as possible.
Right.
So a lot of things. It's not like last year or, right out of COVID that, you would put your home and then you would sell it in 30 days.
Yeah, it's interesting because you're right. I mean, I remember when COVID first hit and everybody was like, oh my God, what's going to happen to real estate? And even being in construction, we're sitting there going like, yeah. And by the way, before construction was, considered, what is it considered?
Right.
Essential? I guess it's essential business. It is very essential. So before it was considered essential.
You are essential.
We're very essential. But we were sitting there going, we meaning myself and my partner, Ivano.
Clooney. Oh.
Well, and Clooney. But, my partner, Ivano, our senior partner on the construction company. And we're building this big project, 89 condos in Koreatown. And we're all sitting there one day, and all this shit's hitting the fan, and Ivano's like, oh shit, what are we gonna do? And I'm like, and I'm looking at Vaughn, he's looking at me, I'm like, let's just keep building. He's like, damn, you think they're going to shut us down? I'm like, who gives an F? Let them shut us down 3 times and we'll hop the damn fence and keep building because that's how we make our money. Exactly. I mean, it was just, but then they declared it essential and everything was fine anyway. But the point is construction really didn't miss a beat. I mean, I guess a lot of people did take a temporary pause on construction, which is part of the maybe lack of a little bit of supply right now.
Sure.
Things got obviously harder to get. Materials went up price-wise. But in general, the real estate market just continued on fire through COVID. And a lot of people think that's also because, rates stayed low. PPP loans came out twice, right? All the funding that came out. I mean, it was like the perfect storm of like, yeah, on the one hand, you got this COVID thing going on. But on the other hand, we're going to give you a shitload of money to go buy real estate and keep the rates low. And people were like, let's do it, And I think that was nice for the last couple of years. But now it's like, okay, so what's the market going to do next? I mean,
exactly.
What do you think? And what do you think the LA market's going to do? We talked about this earlier. Do you feel like the market in LA or in Southern California in general is going to get a little banged up? Or are people going to say, okay, Arman, enough is enough. 6% interest rates. I got to chill out for a second. Or do you think they're just going to like somehow keep showing up with the cash?
That's really hard to answer that. Time is going to show. But I personally think that real estate would get a little bit challenging. Mm-hmm. And, it's not going to be as easy as a year or 2 years ago. And you definitely need to have an experienced team of realtors and a team of construction to actually manage this project, manage this process.
What do you think makes a good experience? Start with construction team, and then we'll talk about real estate. But when you say that, okay, an experienced construction team, what do you think the most important part about? If you're a homeowner and you're going to hire a contractor to fix your house up, or you're going to hire the one-stop shop, baby, what's the most important thing to pick that person?
Get people from Home Depot.
Yeah. Go to the Home Depot parking lot. Dos hombres, 3 horas. Vamos. I was going to say andiamo in Italian. Andiamo. Vamos. No, but by the way, and I'll answer my own question for a quick second. I'll just interject it out there. I think it's communication.
Yes.
Because in our business, whether it's our real estate brokerage, our apartment business, our construction business, whether it's projects that we're building for clients, which we have a few, or projects we're building for ourselves, for me, everything is communication.
Absolutely.
And I know that also sounds cliche, like, yeah, communication. But dude, seriously, like for me, that is everything. It is literally,
that's what's going to make and break it.
Because you're always going to have unexpected things that pop up. You're always going to have some weird thing. You're always going to mess up a budget or something's not going to show up on time. But if you can communicate it and come up with an effective solution, you know what I'm saying? That's what makes it. It's the guys that don't communicate and they're like, oh shit, I just messed this up. I'm going to turn off my phone. I'm going to bounce for a week. Let Arman try to call me. But so I think that's probably...
People get frustrated.
They do.
They do get frustrated because probably that's their first time selling their home or maybe first or second time renovating their home. So they don't understand. Maybe I do it every day, but they don't do it. So we have to basically talk to them in a way that they understand the process. Yeah. So that's very important, I would say. Very important.
Break it down on a simple level, communicate, but walk them through things, not only up front to get the deal signed.
Exactly.
But continue to be a good dude and walk them through it along the way.
Show them the value. That why they actually hire you as a realtor.
Right.
If you're a realtor out there listening to this, you need to have a system where you can actually show value to your clients.
Right.
And as a contractor, same thing.
So I agree. I think a lot of people think, okay, my realtor should get me the lowest prices if I'm going to buy, or they should get me the highest price if I'm going to sell my house. Now, granted, that's not a bad thing. And there are many occasions where I'm just going to say, okay, I have clients that I've gotten the highest price when they've sold or maybe the lowest price I felt like if they were buying. But there's a lot of clients that price had nothing to do with it.
Right.
It was all the other X factor, intangible things that we had to do during that transaction. I found them the right lender. We remodeled their house. Got them approved for a loan when nobody else was going to.
Exactly.
Drove them to see 52 houses in the hot ass summer in Temecula before they bought a house, whatever, right? And so I think there's other things that it comes down to.
Absolutely.
And I think those are the things that when I hear you saying, you're like, yeah, you got to give, that great customer service and you got to stand out from the pack, right? And it's like, what else can you do to make, really make this client happy at the end of the day? Because every client wants to be happy.
Exactly.
They don't want to finish a deal and be like, Damn,
Oh, boy.
Arman was a pain in the ass, that guy, you know?
Right, yeah.
So let me ask you, so as far as areas of real estate, where, you know, in LA, where do you specialize? What types of properties you're going after? Are you doing ADUs for people? What's your kind of Arman niche?
ADU is great. Income property.
Income
you
property.
can actually pay off your home from
Love
that
that.
part. Same thing. We finance it, and then they'll actually, you know, pay that payments from the rent that they actually collect.
How much does an ADU cost? I'm gonna send this. My buddy Gabe Alvarez is gonna watch this video because we talked about that. How much does the damn ADU cost?
Honestly,
If you had to pick one number, like a guy's gonna put a gun to your head, dude, tell me what an ADU costs on average. What does it cost?
it's not 40,000.
It's not 40,000, dude.
You know, everybody. It's funny. Like everybody's like, "Can you finish it?" I mean, I got 3 bids at 45. I'm like, "Show it to me." Honestly, I swear to God, I want to see like.
Then they're like,
who
"Oh
does
shit,
this for
Arman, I lost it.
$45,000?
Arman, I don't have it. I lost it." No, because Gabe and I were joking because when we were sitting here, and I was like, "Dude, every time I've ever priced out an ADU or I've ever looked at an ADU, it's always $200,000.
Yeah.
It's just like 200,000, 200,000, 200,000.
No, but honestly, it's above 100,000.
Right. Okay. So let's put it
From
this way.
100 to 150, I would say is a decent number.
Right.
But depends. Like if you want to, you know, I mean, depends on the size.
Right.
If it's on the hillside, not.
Two bedroom, 2 bath, decent
Exactly.
setup.
Depends
Right.
what you want.
Right.
But it's definitely above 100,000. Goes up to 200, 250. I mean,
Yeah.
different scenarios. But it's not 45,000.
But it's not 45,000.
It's not 45,000.
I can't believe that anybody would think they could build an ADU for $45,000. That's the
You
funny
know,
thing to me.
they hope that
Oh,
it's
yeah.
gonna. You know why? A lot of
Hope is
you
a
know
funny thing, my friend.
bloggers,
Yeah.
bloggers. You know, even Home Advisor, Angie's List. You know,
Yeah.
they misinform people because they just want to create a blog to make people excited about getting to their landing page.
Yeah. So
And
it's
so
almost
they-
like the Zillow thing, like a
Exactly.
Zestimate. Like
Like
Angie's
they
List
said-
puts out a Zestimate for
Yeah,
for an ADU.
Do you want to build an ADU for $45,000? Click
Yeah.
here, and then they click here, and then they send
And
it
they
to
see
3
your picture
contractors,
and
then
they
the
call you and
contractors
say, Arman, what the hell, man?
"Hell no!
Yeah, yeah.
It's not $45,000."
¿Cuánto?
Yeah.
Come again? How do you say it in Farsi? How much?
Oh, shit.
What'd you say? How do you say I can't hear you in Farsi?
نمیشنوم.
Nemishtamala. I can't hear you. Just I can't. Like I said that bad.
Official.
Yeah.
Like,
Almost.
shut up.
Yeah. Shut up, and I gotta go. So interesting.
So yeah, above 100,000 definitely, and then goes up to 150, 200,000 depending on the situation.
Got you.
But again, all these we can finance it. Same scenario.
Yeah. So
you know, very friendly or budget friendly, you know, payments.
Right.
And so they can actually pay off their building, collect rents, and then, you know, when houses goes up like 2-3 years ago, or I would say last year, they can actually pull out equity and then do other things with it.
Right.
There's so many things you can do with
can
real
do.
estate. It's not funny.
So okay. So Arman, you work at Skymark, and you have your own.
And I love Skymark.
Dude, thank you, by the way.
One of
You
the
know?
best things that actually happened to me this
Why
year.
did you come to Skymark? Why? What? I want to know what made you sign up. What made you after
You
you,
guys
spoke to
actually-
me and Greg,
you know-
and you were like looking at these guys, going, "Okay, well, should I sign up with them or should I not?" What made you do it?
Because you guys are doing exactly what I envisioned to actually be a part of a real estate company.
As far as
Hands down. No bullshit.
'Cause
I'm
we-
not trying
'cause
to
we-
rub your balls or anything. I
Thank
swear
you.
to God.
Appreciate that.
Like, this is like, you guys do it to the point that I actually got aroused to actually call Clooney
You
and
were
say,
like,
dude,
come
listen.
on.
Yeah.
And for those that don't know, I'm pretty sure everybody that follows me knows George Clooney, Greg Foster looks just like. I mean, he's got to be Greg
He
Clooney.
should have been
he must
here.
have been. He was supposed to be here.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm pissed. He should have been in that seat with the
Or
Jack
here.
and Coke or something, or
Right.
over there. All right, next time,
Next
Clooney.
time, next time.
But what made you okay? But is it because we are a little crazy? We do building, we do investments, we buy apartments, we have construction. We're out doing the podcast and the marketing and trying to make some noise, and we're like totally different from the, you know, Coldwell Bankers, where you just kind of go there and you're very proper and you go to an office meeting and you have
you
donuts
guys,
and
okay, the reason I joined you is no bullshit, is because of the vast opportunity that you guys, you know, create for agents.
right.
And if I'm an agent
As far as making
looking to actually be a part of, I would definitely check out a Skymark. What is the website?
SkymarkListings.com.
That's it.
That's it. Check us out.
Yeah, definitely do that. Be a part of our team. definitely, because we're actually looking for, high energy, people like hungry to make money.
Dude, absolutely.
Because if they're successful, I am going to be successful as a part of a Skymark, and everybody's going to be. So we're looking for those folks, and the reason is because you guys are doing all that you mentioned, and you guys give the freedom to agents and and realtors
to
like
do
myself
to
do their things, and you coach them.
Well, dude, and thank you, by the way. And honestly, like, it's been so cool for you to join, and we've got Adamo, and we've got Guillaume, and hopefully more people will join here soon. And for us, for Greg and I, it's like the light bulb kind of went off for us, right? Like, we're doing real estate deals, whether it's just Greg and I, or whether you guys joined, right?
Right.
And it's fantastic that you guys are joining now, and it's making us realize that for us, to be completely honest, it's not even about the spread we make when you sell a house, right? It's about that camaraderie that you mentioned, that you touched on. It's about the fact that I know that you and I are going to buy some apartments together, that we're probably going to develop some property together. I know that we're going to, make
flip
a bunch of
property.
We're going to flip some property. We're going to make a bunch of clients happy. Like, we're going to build something, dude, and we're going to have fun doing it. And it's never a boring time. It's never a bad time. And like you said, there's not really an agenda from our standpoint. It's like, we want people that are hard workers, that want to take care of their clients, that are probably, if anything, on the end of the spectrum, a little bit more interested in investment real estate, so building and apartments and land and construction.
Exactly.
But by the way, if someone wanted to come over and they just want to specialize in single-family homes and just listing and selling totally cool too. We do some of those. But I think, our whole thing is to have a tight-knit team and go out and just make some noise, man. Make some noise and have some fun. And not be a best-kept secret, Because so many years, I'm 35, and I got into real estate when I was 18, 19, got my license in 07 and actually started as an LO in 05. And
we have to make a podcast about your story.
Dude, I'm going to have to make one. Next one, you interview me and we'll go more into detail on my story. But
I would love to.
Dude, that would be cool. But dude, and maybe when we get Clooney over here this summer, man.
Yeah.
But dude, seriously, like, it's one of those things where it's like, we just want to go out and be known and help more people. We don't want to sit here and just have 3 clients, no matter how good we are, and not be able to have that pass along. And so I think that's why it's cool that you and all these great guys have joined.
Right, because I mean, I'm not going to badmouth any company. They're all great. They have their own system. But the thing is this: the amount of care that you guys giving to the agents or realtors or whomever join is something that you don't find it anywhere else. You join a big box company.
Yeah.
Did I say it right?
Yeah. Big box, big brick and mortar, big old company. Yeah, for sure. So no, I know what you mean. I mean, because I used to be at one of those companies, like Coldwell Banker, and I mentioned it before, and they're a great company, but it wasn't. After a while, it wasn't great for me.
Yeah.
Because wasn't.
Because you're one of them. I'm sorry. You're one of the agents.
Well,
You're one of it.
Well, and to be frank, again, back to what my beliefs were, that I was also interested in flipping houses and being in construction and buying apartments and doing all these different things.
Yeah.
I was also interested in being a little bit more flexible with my clients. If I want to represent a buyer or a seller, or go to Long Beach or go to Temecula, or take a slightly discounted listing, which I don't normally do, but to help someone out because maybe they're also going to refer me business or buy 3 more houses. But with Coldwell, it, at least at the time when I was there, it was very just kind of like, we don't want you to do that, Brandon. And I'm like, and they're like, could you not do that either? I'm like, and they're like, hey, while we're on the subject, we got to tell you about this one over here. And I'm just like, dude, how about you? It was just like, after a while, it's just like, all right, dude, peace, and.
Or you can do business in this territory. This is another territory. This is this, this is that, all that stuff. So you're actually in a boundary. Over here, you don't have no boundary.
Dude, there's no boundary.
Yeah. So
and
that's
we're
pretty much it. And the other thing that actually made me so happy was the apartment building investment.
Yeah.
That was one of the things that I wanted to, be a part of Skymark, is because I want to, invest in apartment buildings. And also we want to help other people if, they may not be an expert in real estate or construction like you and I, but they want to invest money in real estate. So we can help them. And so
100%.
We should actually make one podcast about that. Like,
we should just a whole chunk about cash flow and about investing. No, I agree, dude, because, again, without diving too deep into it, a handful of years ago, about 4 and a half years ago, the light bulb really went off for me. Like, hey, Brandon, you're not like a spring chicken anymore. And, you're pushing into the 30s pretty hard. And, and I was like, And I made good money in my 20s, but
what do you think you're gonna be at 30s? King of the world, right?
Dude, I thought when I was like 20, right? When I was 20 making commissions, I'm like, dude, I'm gonna like own 3 skyscrapers and the Lakers by the time I'm 25. Like, no problem, you know. And all of a sudden, I'm like, God damn, I'm 30. What the hell happened, you know? But for me, I really realized that it really came down to when you invest in real estate and you invest in the right type of real estate, you can actually be very patient, and over a long period of time, it'll actually make you a lot of money, and it'll take care of you and your family, and it'll give you tax benefits and all these other things, right? And so for me, it was like all of a sudden, the light bulb went off, and I said, and it was like, Brandon, you made good money in your 20s, you know, but you're always living for that next deal. You know, oh, I flipped the house, I made some good money, and then I spend over the next couple months. Oh, I got a couple commissions, and you know, all of a sudden I'm like,
I guess that's the story of every other agent.
And and
or every other contractors,
right? And it could be the story of a lot of people that make good money. You know, I know a lot of people that in different trades that make $200,000-300,000 a year, whatever, and then they get to the end of the year and they're just tight. They've paid taxes, they've had unexpected stuff pop up, you know, whatever it is, and that's fine. But my point is like the light bulb for me was like, Brandon, you got to start buying apartment buildings. You know, and I started with a little house and then another house and a triplex. And, you know, flash forward a little bit, I'm part owner with my partnership of 40 units, and it feels good. There's 40 tenants in the universe sending us rent checks every month, and we take care of our tenants and buildings, and it took us about 3.5-4 years to get from 1 to 40 units. And now I'm sitting here going, okay, how do we go from 40 to 400, you know, in the next 3 years? And then how do we go from 400 to 4,000? And the only way we're going to do that, by the way, is by inviting other friends, family, associates, people we know,
right,
clients, friends of yours, people in our sphere, people that see these types of podcasts, inviting those people in with us.
Right.
With the goal of building that legacy for everybody.
That's it.
So that everybody that invests and does deals with us over the next 5, 10, 15 years can sit back if they want and collect some checks.
And I assume their investments are secure, right? You guys have a contract or...
Yeah, they actually get shares in the deal. So they own part of the apartment building with us. They get monthly reports, and, you know, everybody's in for the ride, man.
And the good thing about real estate is that it's real.
Dude.
You can touch it. You can actually go see it. You know, it's not like Bitcoin, right?
Well, dude, I mean, by the way... When Bitcoin, and I'm just going to check because I know we're going to have a time in a second, but a time warning. But dude, I'm telling you, like a few months ago, I was sitting there going, because I'm talking to one of the guys, my handyman in Bakersfield, because we own a bunch of property in Bakersfield. And my handyman, shout out to Audi, let's go, baby. He just got his GC license too, so I actually shouldn't call him a handyman anymore. He's probably going to watch this and be like, handyman,
you have to check his experience. I'm not a handyman.
Yeah, exactly, right? But dude, He was just like casually one day was just like, yeah, you know, I got a couple Bitcoin. I'm like, oh, you got a couple Bitcoin? He's like, I got like 5 of them or something. Or I don't know, whatever the number was. It was like 4 or 5 Bitcoin, you know, when they were cranking at 60. And I was like, dude, when'd you get into those? I bought them when there was, you know, 10, 15 grand or I don't know, whatever. And I'm sitting here going, Brandon, you dumbass, you missed Bitcoin. You missed Bitcoin. You missed the stock market run up.
Yeah.
But then the other voice went off in my head and it was like, but dude, you're a real estate guy. And any time that I've tried to go out and flip cars or buy this or buy that, or, you know, I would buy stocks. I bought stocks lots of times. But the thing is that I buy some stocks and then I look at that damn thing every day. And then one day I get antsy and I've owned the stock for 3 months. I'm like, I got to sell this, you know, and I take a little loss just to get out of it. And I'm like, what the hell did I even do? It was just like a fun thing to look at every day. But, you know, the point is like, I'm a real estate guy. I will only do one investment. I don't have a 401k. I don't have an IRA. I don't own any stock. I don't own any Bitcoin. And it's fine if other people do. But all my money goes into my businesses and it goes into real estate. And that's all I'm going to do. Because I know if I just laser focus on real estate, that in the next 10, 15, 20 years, it'll be a nice amount of real estate taking care of me and my family.
Basically, your 401k, your pension, your saving account, your IRA, everything is real estate.
Someone said the other day, well, what's your retirement plan? I'm like,
real estate.
Own 1,000 units and collect like 40 grand a month when I'm on the beach, just chilling, having Mai Tais if I want to. Like that's, you know.
And you don't have to wait till 65 until you can take money from those IRA or whatever it is, right?
No, I just call up. I just call. Hello, is Brandon
there?
In
a few months.
Yeah, what's up, dude? Can I crank on some dough this month? Dude, it's there, no problem, right? Like, so it's all good. That's real estate, baby.
I love that, man.
It's coming in every month. So yeah, I would love to get to that point, and that's why I'm also appreciative that you're here, because I know, like I said, I know we're going to do some deals, And it's not just about making commissions. Let's help a bunch of clients. Let's make some commissions. And let's take those commissions and buy a bunch of apartments. And let's have a lot of fun.
Let's help clients that want to sell their home.
Right.
So we can help them from everything. From point A to point Z.
Point A to point Z. Exactly. I think there's a big need for that. So I'm excited to roll out that plan. I'm excited to see how that starts lifting off. And
Love it, man.
We're going to make it happen, bro.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. Well, I know we're going to run out of quick. I don't know how it's already almost 9:30, by the way. I don't know. Where are we right now?
Wow. Where?
Yeah. I'm like, where are we in the universe? So we're at the Melrose Podcast Studio. And we're on Sunset Boulevard. And usually I come in to do these like in the middle of the day. Like, hey, it's noon. Let's like float down.
It's a great studio.
Dude, this is a sick studio, first of all.
Yeah.
And most, and we're sitting here like the little podcast guys, but, most of the real people that come through are like, semi-YouTube famous or podcast famous, hot chicks and comedians and shit like that. So we don't fall into those categories, but hopefully we make some entertaining shit once in a while.
Hopefully.
But, great podcast studio, but it's like 9:30 at night. We started at 8 o'clock, and it was kind of fun to do it at night. And I think the next one when we do it with Clooney, we should. And we'll just Joe Rogan it, we'll just smoke this bitch up in here, and people will just have to deal with it, we'll just do what it is, We got engineers over here like, nah, that ain't happening on my watch, Brandon. No way, cut it, man. So anyway, I do want to do a quick Instagram story myself, just to let everybody know. I always like to do this on air while we're here, if I can find the gram. By the way, I got banned on Twitter today. I know you saw that.
Oh my God.
I'm going to talk about that more, but apparently you can't even make one little post about a homeless guy in LA tearing up Starbucks. I didn't even say anything.
It's been months.
I didn't even say Republican, Democrat, screw the homeless, the druggie. I didn't criticize Garcia. I didn't say, I just made one post because I was standing in line at Starbucks, and in about 5 minutes it was like, "No, you are blocked." And I was just like, what the? And it came in Italian because my account's all Italian. It's like, tu account bloccato or something, and I'm like, what the? I'm like, blocked, so I don't know. Maybe I'll get turned back on. But that was the first, I've only had Twitter account for a week.
It honestly been a few months I don't talk about politics because I feel like, it's hurting me business-wise. Isn't it funny?
Dude, it's crazy. And it's, I don't know. I just think you should be able to go have a coffee without like having the guy tear up the Starbucks. And so I just made a little funny comment like, hey, Caruso, I know you're running for mayor. Maybe make sure this shit doesn't happen a lot or something. It was like that.
You get blocked.
Yeah, Twitter's like, ban this mofo right now. And I'm just like, what? Dude, I just joined Twitter a week ago. Now I'm out, geez, at least I still got some grams. So anyway, let me just bust this. What's up, guys? We're here in the Melrose Podcast Studio, and I'm with Arman Nikoi. We're having a great podcast, and we got our boy over here. Yeah, buddy. So anyway, looking forward to dropping this. Please check out the video. That's how we do. So anyway, got that. I will post that in a second. But dude, really appreciate you coming on.
Thank you so much for the time.
I know it was a great convo.
My pleasure.
Time flew, and we're gonna do another one because we work together. And the next one's gonna be with this damn Clooney guy.
Yes.
Let's do it, man. Let's do it.
Love it. Thank you, brother.
Love it, man.
Appreciate it.
Thank you,
Thanks
bro.
for the time.
Right
Appreciate
on.
it. Thanks.
Oh,
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.